It's time to call a spade a spade. Camello Anthony, the young black boy from Frisco, Texas, they are setting him up, to send him away for life. No doubt about it. He's a 17-year-old boy who was defending himself at a track meet, and they already gave him $1 million bond, which means they don't want him to get out, to be with his family during this court process, because he will be taking this to trial, God willing. Now, from my research and reading, actually a couple articles, listening to a couple of videos, news reports, they are witnesses. There are mixed messages from witnesses that were saying that he was defending himself, and others were saying he was the aggressor. Now, one thing we know for sure, one of the Metcalf brothers, these are two white boys, they're twins, are racist. If you look at one of the posts on social media, maybe a couple, they're having guns and they're saying, things about monkeys, what I'm saying, hunting monkeys, which Texas ain't got no monkeys. So they talking about black people. Now in high school, and I've never been to Texas, but I do know a few people who live in Texas. Just like in Georgia, everybody got guns, everybody got knives, everybody's ready for whatever. That's how they roll. That's how we roll. I'm in Georgia right now. A big difference, moving from Florida to Georgia, in the convenience stores, whether it's 7-Eleven or corner stores, gas stations, the magazines are usually about cars in Florida. Cars and beaches, real estate, beachfront properties, et cetera, et cetera. But when I came to Georgia, all I see is magazines about guns and real estate. So there's a difference. So it's sometimes hard for people to put themselves in other people's shoes or the mindset to see what will cause them or why would they have weapons on them. But when you're in hostile territories, places where standard ground laws, for instance, states where open carry states, people won't have weapons. Now, this is a track meet. Those who know me, who've read my books or follow on social media, I've ran track. I love track and field. I like football, but I love track and field. I ran the 400, 200, 4x4, high jump, long jump. Very active, and I played football, cornerback, safety, and wide receiver my freshman year. Now, Camello Anthony, 17 years old. The Metcalf twins, 17 as well. Now, they say that the twins came in the tent, saw Metcalf and told him to leave. And they said some things, postures, called him nigger, this and that, monkey, whatever, and then grabbed him. At that point, he took the knife out of his book bag and stabbed him. And then he ran. He told the police, it's been supported. He told the police, yeah, I did it. Of course he did it. You know what I'm saying? He's not hiding the fact that he did it, but he also said to the police that it's self-defense. Now, the issue that I have is a couple of things. One, that $1 million bond. Why are you going to give a 17-year-old $1 million bond? You're not giving them white boys, white girls $1 million bonds. And then the media, all they're doing is focusing on the Metcalf family. How good of a student athlete he was, how good in the community he was, how good of a hunter he was, et cetera, et cetera. And, you see the mother and the father, saying their sad stories. And my condolences, I don't agree with no one getting killed or murdered for no reason. But if someone's self-defense, it's self-defense. If you die, then you die. If you are the aggressor and someone told you, don't touch me, and they don't even have to tell you that, but you go and grab them, then you are looking for whatever end result is going to happen. And it happens all the time, unfortunately. But they are portraying the white boy as the angel and the black boy as the demon. Now, mind you, Camello Anthony had a 3.7 GPA. And it's been said that he even saved someone's life that was drowning. I'm not sure, was it at a beach or a pool? More likely a pool. I can't see Texas with beaches, but I'm sure they have some, areas around the edges of the state that have beaches. Of course, we're surrounded with water. The United States is surrounded with water. But this is unfortunate that they already portraying him as the evil person. So in order for this case to be fair, it's going to have to move out of the state. It's going to have to move out. Well, the more likely won't move out of the state, but out the county. But either way, the whole state of Texas are on edge about this case. Now, I don't agree with everything some of the people are saying, like Charleston White saying, the boy was an aggressor, why he killed a little white boy. But, Charleston is always looking for something to say. He's always looking for some controversial thing to say, keep him relevant. That's what online hustlers do. That's why I don't pay too much attention with an online hustler, conscious hustler, online hustler, shea butter hustler, whatever they are, life coach hustlers, relationship hustlers. I don't really pay attention to them specifically because they're just saying anything to keep them relevant and to keep the clicks going and get YouTube views up, etc., etc. I'm not one of those type of YouTubers. This is not that type of channel. The King Kevin channel, King Kevin Dorival channel is more about educating, uplifting, and definitely teaching of Black history. Whether it's through my books or my speaking, it's different. Now, it really bothers me that this young boy, first time in jail, $1 million bond. They don't plan on letting him out. They're in a town where it's nearly 50% white. Only 8-point-some% Black. So it's predominantly a white neighborhood. It's going to be predominantly a white jury, is what I'm saying. The jury is going to be white, which is unconstitutional because you're supposed to have a jury amongst your peers. And I'm hoping, I don't know what the law is, that they can have teenagers, at least 1 or 2 teenagers, maybe 1 Black, 1 white, in that jury box as well. That's make it fair. That's his peers. You feel me? But the family, the GoFundMe is another issue. The GoFundMe is only at about $160,000 to get him bond. I know the celebrities out there, athletes, seeing this case, that y'all need to drop some money to this man. GoFundMe or find the family directly and send money. Because right now, I was looking to donate this morning. I'm like, you know what? When I heard about that $1 million bond, I went to look this morning. I can't find it. They're saying the page don't exist. If you do a Google search, Camello Anthony's GoFundMe, when you click on that GoFundMe link, it don't exist. So it's been removed. So they're playing games. Now, if he can't fund himself, if he can't financially fund his legal, case, then it's going to be very hard for him. He's going to need some high-profile attorneys in Texas. He's going to need some high-profile attorneys, whether they're from Texas or wherever they're from. He's going to need some high-powered, kind of like ASAP Rocky lawyer. They pay him $2,400 an hour. You feel me? They shut down the whole law firm just to focus on ASAP Rocky's case. And as you can see, he was found not guilty. That's the kind of legal help he's going to need. Like a Johnny Cochran type lawyer. Someone's going to come in, look at the case thoroughly, and get the jury to see the situation through his shoes, because you have the right to defend yourself. You know what I mean? You at school. Now, let me say this. They are not investigating or listening to the witnesses that were there, especially the ones that's saying that Karmelo was defending himself. They're not paying him those people no attention. They haven't been investigated. It's been 3 days now. They haven't been contacted. The calls are being ignored. They're not listening. They're not. So it's going to be up to these lawyers to do the due diligence and step up. Now, when I used to run track, high school, college, and I had aspirations going to Olympics, I was a great runner in 400. Went to state twice, 400 and 4x4. And I want to say this. There's been plenty of times when I would be in someone else's tent. Plenty of times been in someone else's tent, because I knew someone from the track team. Different high school, even if we were rivalry high schools, if you know somebody that's childhood friend or family, hey, it's hot, I'm under your tent, we good. You know what I'm saying? You under my tent, we good. So I've never seen friction like that. You know what I'm saying? I've heard of people talking, but I've never seen any friction. So if Karmelo was underneath their tent and they approach him respectively, then as a gentleman, as an athlete, with class, you're going to remove yourself from the tent. Now, if they came to him aggressively, like, hey, man, get your beep, beep, beep out of our tent, you know what I'm saying? Then in that case, they probably, nah, I'm not going nowhere. You're not going to bully me, you know, anywhere. And I don't get, if the trap meet was in April of this year, I want to say April 7th, can't be April 7th, but early April, on a Wednesday morning, why is it that, why is a high school having a trap meet on a Wednesday morning? I was thinking about that. You feel me? Why would they have a trap meet on a Wednesday morning? How? You know, unless it's spring break. You know, I know in Georgia spring break right now. So that was just kind of odd. But, you know, rest in peace to the student that died. You know, if he was a racist, it's going to come to light. And if a racist has an opportunity to pick on a black boy, a white racist has a chance to pick on a black boy and get away with it, he's going to do it. She's going to do it. So let's stay tuned. I gotta find that GoFundMe. I can't find it. If y'all see it, please drop it in the comment section. I just can't find it. All right, bless up. King Kevin in the building. KevinDover.com.